Hello. Hello, everyone watching on YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, this is going to be one of the last full episodes that we post on YouTube. We're going to have video content in the future still. We'll post snippets. We'll post interviews. Last week, we had Jack Curry. That wasn't on YouTube. If you haven't heard that, go listen to it on the app. Appreciate everyone that watches on YouTube. It's just, it doesn't really help us. And now that we're really banking on it, we need the numbers on the apps. Those help us. I wish it was different, but it's not. Full episodes will always be on the app. Little snippets will be on YouTube. Thank you if you've been watching on YouTube, but please, it would be nice if you go ahead to an app and do that. All right, let's get into the episode. Today is March 4th. Spring training is in full swing. We got games. Some are boring. Most are boring. Some are fun. There's good storylines. There's a lot of players heating up. There's a lot of positions to be had. Let's talk Yanks. Talkin baseball. Tyler Clippard's mom just responded to something, so I wanted to see what she said on the tweeter.
Have her call in.
Yeah. Oh, never mind. Not that cool. Okay. All right. Cool. This is the stuff that people on YouTube will miss out on because it gets edited out on the app.
Tough.
All right. My name is Jimmy, Jomboy, coming to you from California. I got my co-host Jake coming to you from Denver. I believe he's in Denver right now. We're two transplanted Yankee fans originally from the New Jersey and Connecticut area. You know that if you've been listening. If you're a new listener, now you know. Jake, how are you?
Chillo. I'm good. How are you? How was your week? How was your weekend?
Everything's good. I'm full-time doing Talkin Yanks stuff now. It's a bit bizarre. I don't know how to structure my days yet.
Right.
I had a meeting with like the investor, the staff, the crew, and all that. Going good. We got a lot of big plans. Like we have plans that are every day. We have long-term plans. A lot of stuff we want to do. We're excited about the fan base, but structuring my day is hard. It's like I wake up, I sit here, I watch the games, and then it's like, okay, I have so many things I want to do. I have to figure out what needs to be done when, and I don't know.
Have you thought about like when the season comes, a normal 7 p.m. Eastern time game?
4 o'clock start.
You need a pregame routine. You're one of the players now, basically.
Well, wake up. I'm going to try and wake up and go for a nice walk. I read while I'm walking. I'm trying to read a bunch of baseball books and history, like just brush up on all my Yankee info, become a Yankee historian. So I read while I walk. I plan on going on a nice walk for like an hour, then coming back, showering, getting dressed for the day, finding out who we're facing, throwing up some stats, how we do against that guy, how whatever, find the fun storylines, prep, make some videos. I don't know.
Anything else that people want to hear? We're flexible guys. / I'll just make Jimmy do it because that's how it works.
Yeah, I mean that is how.
You got a quick Yankee fun fact for us? Something you read?
I just finished that book. Okay, yeah. Here's a fun fact. Yogi Berra didn't have his own equipment as a kid. Boom.
There you go.
From
fun fact of the day.
Okay, this podcast, this episode is brought to you by AffordableJerseys.com. If you don't know Affordable Jerseys, then this is your first time listening. They're big supporters of the show, and we like what they do because they offer Yankee jerseys that are cheap. They are the cool base replica, the majestic, the very same quality you get from Majestic.com, except they don't have the names on the back, which is the bad part. Can't wear a Yankees jersey with the name on the back. There's a hole in the market. Affordable Jerseys is filling it. $99. Yankee jersey, no name on the back. Go there. Get yourself a jersey. Get ready for the season.
You have a nice tweet of me looking sexy in my Affordable Yankees jersey.
Bernie Williams' son, yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, you were throwing some moves out there.
Yeah, I had, well, as we kind of discussed last week, I had a couple too many sodas at that, but it's a celebration.
Yeah. All right. So first we're going to get into some off the field news, some signings, some injuries, some stuff like that. Then we will get into reactions from play in spring training. I think I've watched every game that's been televised. I've watched replays. I'm trying to, it's like my life now. So I got to know. Like I was talking to someone like, I got to watch the spring training game. It's like, no, you don't. It's like, well, I know I don't because who cares? But I kind of do now. I got to know what's going on. So we'll talk about that. But first, let's start with the Adam Lind signing, Jake.
I'm glad you started there, James. Pretty wild. Part of the side effect of the free agency stuff. Did you check out his stats? There's my first giggle. I was trying not to giggle today.
We have a guy, a great listener, a big supporter of the show, Yankees videos on Twitter, who hates that Jake laughs a lot.
He's not wrong. I don't like it.
In turn, it makes me laugh how much he hates that you laugh.
Well, I'm glad we covered that.
Okay, Adam Lind's stats.
Adam Lind's last year. Did you check it out? I'm assuming you did.
Yep. 14 home runs.
362, 14 homers in 116 games. That's really good. And I think I'll tie into it more later, but we're starting to see where the Yankees have their focus so far in spring training. I think they're displaying that backup first base is something they're legitimately worried about. They have Lynn. They're getting Austin a lot of at-bats. Billy McKinney's kind of everyone's dark horse a little bit. Former big-time prospect who had a couple rough injuries. But, yeah, I think for Adam Lind, it's – again, who knows what else he was getting on the market. But it kind of sucks because he's banking on a Greg Bird injury, right?
Yeah, he's probably my least favorite guy on the team because he's rooting for Greg to get hurt. No, I mean, when they traded away Cooper to make room on the 40-man, and then they got rid of Headley, I tweeted out, like, there's no way they don't sign a backup first baseman, a MLB caliber backup first baseman. There's no way. And then when we did the mini episode on Greg Bird, we said we don't have a backup first baseman yet. And then we both laughed and said, well, there's going to be a backup first baseman by the time this comes out. We were wrong, but now we have it. It took forever. Last year, because Bird gets freak injuries, 2 freak injuries in his career. And Tyler Austin is actually injury prone. Like, he pulls hamstrings. He does those recurring injuries, unlike Bird's broken os trigonum. So you can't bank on those two. McKinney's a rookie, or prospect even, so you have no idea what you're getting. So this move was inevitable and needed to be happen. And the fact that a guy like Adam Lind falls into the category of a minor league contract, not that he's a stud, but you heard the stats last year. They're pretty impressive. Last year we signed Chris Carter and Ji-Man Choi for this very reason, because you need a guy who's got major league experience in the depths. Carter started 70 games or some dumb shit like that. Choi got called up, and then we got Cooper. You need depth. I mean, you need depth on depth on depth. So I hope Bird doesn't get hurt, and this is a non-issue. He's also really good at pinch hitting. I think he had like 5 pinch hit home runs or something like that last year.
Yeah, he came off the bench for the Nats a good amount. Who do you think has a better chance of being on the opening day roster, Adam Lind or Tyler Austin?
Adam Lind, because I don't know if Austin has options, but I'm guessing he has a couple left. Adam Lind has an opt-out after spring training. So if the Yankees don't put him on the roster, he can straight up say, okay, bye. I'm going to go try and get on someone else's. I'm going to go shop myself because he got an opt-out. So if the Yankees were worried that he's going to opt out, then they could say, no, come be the backup on the roster. And if they send Austin down, that's less of a headache for them, I guess. I don't know, though. I mean,
it's interesting on my end. It brings in.
My gut says neither.
I see. That's the weird thing for me. I convinced myself on Tyler Austin making the opening roster the other day, just with the guys who have to start the year in the minors, et cetera, et cetera. That point is interesting. I think it turns into Greg Bird, obviously. I think then it becomes lefty-righty. Lind and Austin are 1A. I think they're kind of equivalent because nobody complains about Austin's major league talent, which I get that he's injury prone, but he's still major league talent in my eyes, no?
Yeah, but the Yankees don't like him. And that's not me saying I don't like him.
Yeah.
The Yankees You can tell they just don't. They just use him kind of in the same way they used Ref Snyder. I don't think they trust him at any position defensively. Last year, when we were struggling for a first baseman so hard, they sent him to the minors and had him play right field. And then they
Yeah.
called him up to be a first baseman. It's like, what are you guys doing? So I don't know. It seems like they aren't excited about Tyler Austin. He's got a good bat, but his splits. Rob from Arkansas gave us his splits. Tyler Austin's splits are he hits lefties really well.
Right.
He hits righties very poorly, and he's got opposite field power. He's doing good in spring. He's got 2 home runs, 1 a walk off. Someone else pointed out all his hits are clutch, which could just be opportunity, but that's
Yeah,
cool.
man. I like watching Austin at the plate. It's the equation that'll end up in the Yankees front office is, like you said, sending Tyler Austin down to, are we going to have to protect Greg Bird against lefties, even though he has good stats against lefties so far, versus Adam Lind off the bench, versus, I mean, the sleeper there is Billy McKinney. Do they think he's healthy and he can be, if Greg Bird gets hurt, he can come up and give them serviceable at-bats at some point?
Yeah, so Billy McKinney, I don't think they're going to stash him away as on the bench. If they wanted a backup and a pinch hitter, I think you go with Lind. But maybe if Austin's out of options, I don't know how that comes out, how that breaks down. But in the end, Bird just stay healthy and play, and we're good.
Yeah, like I hinted at before, I mean, if you go through the top at bats of the Yankees this season, I mean, in the top 10 are Tyler Austin and Billy McKinney. So I think they're definitely putting that, testing out to see what they have, just in case the unfathomable Greg Bird nightmares that we will never discuss could happen.
Yeah, McKinney, I don't think they'd bring him up to be on the bench right now. I think if Bird was dead and they needed 70 games, then yeah. Let's move on. Speaking of death, Jacoby Ellsbury strained his oblique, making a nice reaching catch. Clint Frazier has a concussion from making a nice leaping catch and banging his head against the wall. All our outfielders love straining their obliques. Clint strained his oblique last year, making a nice catch. Hicks strained his oblique twice last year, making a nice catch. Every time they reach up and make a nice catch, they just strain their obliques. Ellsbury, they said he had tightness in his side. It's like, okay, well, that's either nothing at all or a strained oblique. A couple hours later, they said strained oblique. So if they're both hurt and sidelined for a little bit, concussions are crazy. They might never go away. This is why depth comes into play. Like, imagine Shane Robinson now. I mean, we're a Brett Gardner injury away from Shane Robinson being in the team. Well, that's not really true. That's an overreaction because these guys may come back in 2 weeks. You never know.
Yeah, I mean, part of the reason I've been so gung-ho on Jacoby this year is you forget how many little injuries and stuff in baseball happen, never mind the big ones. Jacoby played, 110 games last year or whatever it was. So, and again, it is spring training, so you wonder, like you said, sprained oblique could be an actual sprained oblique or could be, an early 30s-year-old Jacoby saying, feeling a little bit. So,
yeah,
not too concerned. They've said Clint. I don't know. I get touch and go around Clint like you do now. I've heard okay things about the concussion, like it wasn't a super bad one, but again, it is tricky. So we'll know more in a couple weeks.
Russell Wilson offered him some concussion water, so then it got cleared up, and then it was bad, then it was good.
So good thing we brought Russell Wilson.
Yeah, he's going to help Clint. What do you think about this, Jake? Do you think they should be cool and maybe not dive and go all out? Is it possible to tell a player to play 80% when he's on the field, or are injuries just going to happen and you have to let a player play? Because I kind of lean, you just got to let him play. Like, especially a guy like Clint. He's active. Like, he's going to run around. I think Clint would hurt himself more if you told him, don't go dive for anything, because he'd probably, like, pull up. I don't know. I think you have to let him play. Like, some were saying, like, Clint needs to calm down and not make that catch. Like, no, I think you got to go make catches.
Normally I lean that way. I do get it. during spring training.
Yeah, in today's game, there was a ball going into the dugout, and McKinney and Gary were running for it, and Boone's right in the dugout, and he's like, "Easy, easy, easy!"
Yeah,
Like, stop! It's a foul ball.
mid season, you want one of them leaning over the fence trying to make a play. Spring training, let it go.
I agree. I just think it's really hard to tell a player that.
Yeah, it is, and there's some guys, and you play with them if you play any sport during any part of your life. There's guys that if they're playing in the game or they're playing on the beach with their grandma, they go 100%. There's guys that you wish could turn it on, Jacoby Ellsbury, at any point. So it's tough. I think if you're the manager, you just do kind of one of those. You have to know your guys and say, hey, I'll give you a break the first half of spring training if you're not going to dive for the ball in the gap. But at a certain point, you hit that go button. So
Psych. Do you remember freshman year of baseball when we would shag balls and you had to dive rule? That was my favorite thing.
did we, or did we make that up?
I made it up, but we abided by it. Like
there was a scoring system, yeah.
Yeah, if a ball got hit right to you in batting practice, you weren't allowed to catch that. You had to let someone else run and dive for it because that was way more fun. That's when you're 14 and you don't get hurt.
That's when the coaches hate you.
Yeah, they're mad at you. Yeah. All right. I think that's all. Anything else off the field? Any signings? Any moves? We can get into play on the field.
Transaction wise, no. I think play on the field kind of will tie.
Yeah, and health wise, no. Because right now we don't know what the concussion and the oblique are for Ellsbury and Clint. And concussions are crazy. Ellsbury was out. He was supposed to be 2 weeks, and he was out for like a month last year with that concussion. So I hope Clint's not sidelined for a month of play. That would suck.
Yeah, and what day is opening day? The
29th. 28th.
28th?
29th.
29th. So once we get, which, hey, it's about a week and a half, but if we don't have some more finite news in a week and a half, you're about 2 weeks out from opening day. So that's when the red light will go on. But at the same time, we could hear on Tuesday that Ellsbury and Clint took batting practice. So something to watch.
Yeah, something to watch. I mean, I think it become somewhat of a nice thing for, like, we say, hey, we have 5 outfitters. How's this going to work out? It's like, well, it'll play itself out. And not a nice thing that they both got hurt at all, but a nice thing that maybe Boone's decision is easier in a way. Like, okay, Clint, you got concussed. Your head's hurt a little bit. We're going to roll with the guys up here. You didn't get sent down because you weren't good enough. That's exactly what Clint needs for his mental health. Like, because if they have to say, Clint, you just didn't, like, you were fighting, you wanted to beat these guys out, you didn't beat them out, go to AAA, keep working, he could be demoralized. He could be like, fuck, he could get angry. But now if he's like, it was that concussion set me back. That's the only reason I'm in AAA is because that damn concussion, and it could be true, but that's a different mindset for him than just being defeated.
I'm ready to befriend Clint.
To win.
Like, know how I say I go too far off the deep end with some stuff? I feel like I've been too harsh on Clint. I'm ready to bring him on board, get the real deal.
People are like upset with me. I said I wanted him to be a big part of 2018, and then I wanted him to be the everyday left fielder in 2019. I mean, you can't call me a Clint hater when that's what I'm saying I want out there. I just think he's lame.
Yeah. He doesn't seem cool. I want him to be. We'll hang out with him.
All right, let's move on to the in-play spring training results, who's doing good, who's doing bad, and all that stuff. And this segment is going to be brought to you by the Runyon 5K Marathon. Is it called a marathon if it's a 5K? Did I just get that wrong?
Yeah.
Anyway, this is not right. It's totally not right. It's just the 5K. Yeah, it's the Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation. They're doing a 5K at Yankee Stadium. They have invited Jake and I to participate, which is scary. It's a run around Yankee Stadium. You go like through the ground concourse, then the second level, then the third, then down the steps, then on the warning track. It's all over Yankee Stadium. Jake and I will be there. It's on April 15th. Sunday, April 15th. I think we're wrapping up a series against the Tigers that day. So I hope they have the game on the Jumbotron so we can watch. That sounds like a lot of fun. It's always fun to be in ballparks when there's not a game going on sometimes, and you get to see it like a difference. Is that just a me thing? Like abandoned stadiums or empty stadiums? I think that's very interesting.
No, it's definitely a different. You're right. There's no perfect word for it, but it's different. How about that?
Different. Like there's that scene in Little Big League where the main kid and his manager are just sitting in the empty stadium in like seats behind home plate having a conversation. I'm like, man, that's a cool place to have a conversation.
Yeah.
So anyway, there's going to be a lot of people there. It's a race. If you want to sign up, you can get $10. You can get $5 off registration using the code Talkin Yanks. Exactly how we spell it, with no space in the middle, no capitalizations. Talkin Yanks. Jake and I will be there in the Bronx at Yankee Stadium. We're going to have a camera. I mean, I'm not running it. That sounds like miserable, but we're going to walk around and have some fun. Maybe do a podcast.
I'm
You're running.
Oh, yeah. Keep that camera up.
Maybe my walks will help me get ready for the run. But, I mean, that sounds like fun, and we're really glad they reached out. We're happy to work with them. It's for a good cause. So if you like marathons, if your family likes marathons, if you like the Yankees, if you like us.
5K.
Damon Runyon 5K.
Check a couple boxes off. Run a 5K, get on Yankee Stadium, get on the field. Yeah.
Tell Jake he sucks to his face.
Okay.
All right. So let's go into it. The first storyline from spring is Andujar. And it's kind of the only story right now. That's not true. There's more. Who? Andujar? That was bad. Andujar. Call up Andujar. Free Andujar. He's playing crazy.
You're such a hater. Oh my God, you're a hater. You want to send him to single A. That's what I heard.
I don't think he should be in baseball anymore. Yeah. The Andujar clan is coming after me hard because I went after them hard last year. But they don't understand so much. Those kids don't understand so much. They're so stupid. They're like, see, we told you he was good. It's like, I never said he wasn't good last year. I just said he's not going to be called up as an impact player of the 2017 Yankees. So stop pining for him in such an annoying way. Guess what? He never got called up as an impact player for the 2017 Yankees. So all your pining and whining last year, I was right. It was worthless. It was just annoying as hell. Now he's going to be part of the 2018 Yankees, and let's all be excited about him. It's time. Now we're ready. You know what? And they're going to do this. They're like, do you still hate them? I'm like, yeah, I still hate you guys. And I'm going to hate you when you do the same thing for Florial a year before he's ready to come up to the majors. You're just going to be annoying. Be excited for guys at the time when you should be excited for them. And right now, everyone should be excited for Andujar.
And I saw someone post something like Andujar over Headley talking about last year, and that wasn't even the situation. It would be Andujar over Frazier. And the whole thing is the kid's glove. So, you know what would have been delightful? What if the Yankees lost the game because Andujar boots one when everyone said that his glove wasn't ready?
Those kids,
we're both sides of the hat. Is that the phrase? We're both sides of the shoe?
Those kids are so dumb and annoying. And they're kind of trolls on purpose, which is fine. But if you don't know anything we're talking about, there's an annoying group of kids on Twitter that are annoying, and they're like young kids. Andujar, get excited, be excited. But again, it's still just spring training. Ref Snyder hit like 451 spring. But Andujar looks more legit than Ref Snyder. He looks awesome. Have you seen his at-bats, Jake?
He's absolutely roping balls, yeah.
Like, he's hitting them hard. He's got a violent swing. Someone asked me what's the difference between a violent swing and a fast swing. Clint Frazier has a really fast hands, but his body kind of stays in place. It's not violent. Andujar's got like his whole body violent swing. He's crushing fastballs. I wanted to look and see what pitches he's been hitting, what he's been doing. He's been taking, when he does strike out, it's on off-speed pitches that he's swinging and missing at. He hasn't swung at a fastball and not at least made contact yet, which is pretty good.
I've got the stats in front of me too, so I might as well let the people know if they haven't been fully keeping track. 19 at-bats, which leads the team, which, again, I've been circling around and we'll get to about playing time. 8 hits, 2 doubles, 4 homers, 8 RBIs, 4 strikeouts, .421 batting average, .421 OBP. And Jimmy's favorite Dominican saying, you don't swing yourself off the island, babe.
Yep. No, dude, he's going up there swinging, and he's looking for fastballs. He's put 2 off-speed pitches in play. One was a deep fly out to center, and his last hit was a rope down third base line. I don't know if it was off-speed or a fastball because Nessen had the worst broadcast in the history of broadcasts and they also didn't put the miles per hour up. I don't know. If it didn't look like a fastball, I'm going to guess it was off-speed, and he hit that. So that would be his one hit on an off-speed pitch. The thing about spring training is pitchers are still going to throw him fastballs because they don't care. Their goal is
trying to be healthy.
Their goal isn't, I need to get Andujar out at all costs. Their goal is, okay, I need to work on my fastball. I need to work on my slider. I need to work on all my pitches in spring training. Because if this wasn't spring training and was the regular season, Andujar would not get a single fastball.
Right.
Which would be the ALCS when there's 20-something curveballs in a row. And wait, but I'm not saying he can't hit curves. I'm just saying he's dead red fastballs in spring right now. And I'm interested, excited, whatever word, to see when he starts making the adjustment and starts knocking curveballs around too, because I think he can.
A lot of mixed emotions. It's kind of what you've hinted at. You said we've got a question about the value of spring training. Has this changed some of your thoughts coming into this year about Andujar? Like, have the way he's hitting those balls, are you saying like, okay, this dude really should be our third baseman this year?
If he stays hitting this, because his defense has looked fine too. So if he stays hitting them throughout all of spring like this, there's absolutely zero chance he should be start the season in the minors. Options isn't a problem, or service time isn't a problem for him. If he stays hitting like this, he has to be break camp with the team. But all the things Cashman told us and leaked, he said Drury was only in a competition for third. He said it's Drury's to lose. He said Drury has the edge right now. And I think he said all of those things. Someone asked me, do you think Cashman spoke too soon when he said that? And he might have, because I don't think he predicted Andujar to go this off in spring training. And I think he predicted Andujar to have a decent spring, and he put those thoughts out there that it was Drury's to lose because he wants to give it to Drury and let Andujar develop a little more in the minors. I don't know why, Cashman, but everything he said, it seems like that's what he wants. So part of my brain is saying it's only spring, and there's like 3 or 4 weeks left of spring, 3 weeks left. And if Andujar goes hitless in his last 2, I think Cashman's going to be Cashman and be like, well, we loved what we saw. We want him to keep going and develop. I don't know why Cashman said those things. I don't know. But that's just my brain. Like, if Andujar keeps hitting, he has to be on the team. But I'm trying to figure out Cashman's brain. And I don't know why he would have said those things about Drury if he doesn't lean that he wants Andujar to start in the minors.
Yeah, and we do have, what, three more weeks of spring training, 2.5, something like that. So something to watch. And again, I don't want us to come off as Andujar haters. We want this dude to be great.
I want him on the team.
Root for people in pinstripes. That's our new go-to motto. But so this whole thing I've been circling about, the guys leading the Yanks in at-bats this spring are basically all the question marks. Andujar leads the team. Espinoza, who we said is kind of fighting for an opening day job. Glaber's third. Drury's fourth. And then it kind of turns in. The list gets longer, but it's still names we've talked about. It's Tyler Wade, Austin. So I think the Yankees are basically throwing it out there to those guys like, hey, we're going to let you play and sort it out yourself, which sounds a little obvious, but it's a good way to do business. I'm curious. You mentioned, and you had that great video about Boone talking about winning at bats and taking the close pitch and such. I'm not going to say it's a red flag. Andujar doesn't have a walk yet in 19 plate appearances, which, again, early spring training, he's roping the ball. but it's clearly a point of emphasis on the team. If it'll be interesting because I don't want to make too much of a Clint Frazier parallel, but we saw Clint Frazier come up. He showed some ability, he showed some pop, and then the pitchers caught up a little bit, started throwing the off speed, just like you were mentioning, and then his numbers started to drop. His defense wasn't where it needed to be, and I'm not hoping that or wishing that, but I would say keep an eye on the walks, keep an eye on the defense, because honestly, I think those are the things at this point that would keep Andujar off the opening day roster.
His defense has looked pretty solid. He throws a little odd. Some people were saying that he loved it. I think it's a little weird, but I don't care how you throw as long as the ball gets there fine.
Describe it to us, Jim.
It's kind of like the way it's kind of the way Domingo Germán pitches. Like the ball's like low at his hip, and then he just slings it.
Okay.
So Jeter and A-Rod, they throw like an infielder where the ball is behind your head, and then you come out and sling it. It's actually like I've seen a lot of video and throwing teachers show that Jeter and A-Rod, the ball hides behind your head, which is kind of crazy. His is low. Okay. Whatever. However you throw it works.
Let's get it there.
Kind of looks like Cano from second, but it's from third. His defense looks good. He's roping balls. I would say you said look at the walks and the defense. Obviously, look at that stuff. But I would look at how he handles breaking balls. I think everyone in the world knows he can fucking smash fastballs. So let's see when and I don't know if he's going to see a healthy dose of breaking balls in spring training because, like we said, pitchers are just working on their stuff. They don't care. You know. Okay. What else do we have? Let's see. We did Andujar. Wade is probably the next best guy right now that's competing. He's doing a lot of stuff. He's playing good defense. He's bunting. He's got like 2 bunts for hits, making his speed a factor. I don't know. He's just having a good spring. Paul O'Neill and Michael Kay were raving about him on Sunday's game.
Yep, hitting 357 so far, 444 OBP, 14 at bats, 1 swipe. Yeah, Wade. Where are we at on Tyler Wade right now? Where do we want to see him on opening day?
I want to see him at the second base job. I'm rooting for Wade. Nice. Only on opening day. I think Glaber eventually will take that, and then Wade becomes utility. We have a lot of guys. We have a lot of guys.
Have we already made Drury an odd man out because of a hot 19 at bats from Andujar?
That's the crazy part. People are like, I don't know, man. There's too many guys. It's a good thing to have. Drury's been hitting. He hit a double the other day. He hit a home run the other day.
Drury's playing really solid.
And he's the opposite of Andujar. He's roping off speed.
It's tricky. Starts getting tricky.
You want to try and figure that out right now? Okay, so we'll talk about Glaber first, and then we'll try to figure out. Glaber, shaky start with the bat. He hasn't been hitting that well. He hit a double in the game yesterday, which was nice off the duplicate green monster out in Fort Myers or whatever Red Sox play. He's made more good plays at second than he's messed up routine plays, but he has messed up a couple routine plays, I think 2 or 3, where he tried to start a double play with his glove and flip it with his glove. A little too fancy. Just get the practical out, Glaber. And then against the Red Sox, this like pump back 1 hopper. He let the hop play him. Messed up and then threw a bad throw home to try and get the guy running home when he should have ate it. So super little things. I don't think enough to stop him. I don't. If service time wasn't an issue, I don't think that would be enough to make him not make the team. But because service time is there, I think they're searching for these kind of things to be like, yeah, he'll go down, he'll work on that. And the thing about Glaber is he's had like 50 games in Double-A and 23 games in Triple-A. I don't think he doesn't have 100 games played above A-ball. I think a lot of people would be shocked to hear those numbers because he's such a highly touted prospect and everyone thinks he's ready for the bigs. He's ready for the bigs. He is probably ready for the bigs. And the service time is going to kick in, and maybe that's not fair. But the dude hasn't played a lot of games above A-ball.
He's coming off the weird injury from last year. People get so excited over prospects. especially the younger they are, the more excited you're going to be, because the better you are as a youth. You know, A-Rod, the Griffies, they get called up as young as they are. You start putting people in their head, put Glaber in that conversation. But it's funny, for the past, you're one of the more active people on social media there is. We haven't heard the Glaber opening camp crew as loud as they have been for the past 2 weeks or so. They've started quieting down, which spinning it back to the Andujar thing makes it even more crazy how people are penning him into the third base job because he's had a good week and a half of spring training.
It's crazy what I mean, it's the way
I see it in your eyes right now. It's mind-boggling.
It's just the way the tides go. You know, what have you done for me lately? And part of it is annoying, and part of it's no, that's how it is. I mean, you can halfway fight it, and then sometimes you have to accept, like, no, Andujar deserves all the praise he's getting right now.
Yes.
But you need to put a little, it's spring training, it's spring training, it's spring training into it.
I've figured it out, James, because you touched on it, but it has to be hammered home more. If Andujar keeps doing this, yeah, you have to. If Andujar has a couple weeks, the odds are still kind of against him a little bit with Drury, with Wade, with that whole crew. Your boy Espinoza, we won the offseason with him.
The thing about spring training and why it's so great is if a player does good, Chad Green comes out and pitches really well. CeCe comes out, pitches really well. Canely looks good. Andujar's going crazy. Wade's going crazy. You're like, yeah, let's go. You're so pumped up, and you should be, and juiced. But if Tanaka comes out and throws a dud, if Chapman can't throw a strike to save his life, if Bird hasn't really started hitting yet, you're like, well, it's spring training. They're just working on things. It doesn't matter at all. And they're both true, but they contradict each other.
You're gambling with free money.
The good is good, and the bad doesn't matter at all. And that's spring training. All right. Now that we did the infield, let's try to work it out. So the way I see it, they're going to roll with 4 people on the bench. Ellsbury is going to be, if he's healthy, Ellsbury's going to be the outfielder on the bench. Romine is going to be the catcher on the bench. So then you have 2 open spots, okay, for 2 infielders. So if we think Glaber hasn't done enough to beat out service time, even though I don't think there was enough he could do to beat out service time, Glaber's in AAA. Okay? Now, if Andujar keeps this up and he wins the third base job, he's on third. Okay? And then if Wade stays healthy and he wins the second base job, he's on second. So Wade and Andujar won the opening day jobs. On the bench in those 2 remaining spots, it would be Drury and Torreyes. And Drury would be acting as the first base backup.
Dude, does that lock in Baby Toe? I know it hurts me to say it.
I don't know Toe's options, and he's having a good spring. And I think they'd use Torreyes over Tyler Austin.
It's going to be interesting to see, man. I'm at this point, and I'll, again, send your hate, ESPN_Jake. I'm always ready for it. I still don't have Andujar on there. Okay,
so let's do it. Let's do it that way then. If Andujar isn't going to be the everyday third baseman, he's not getting a spot on the bench. They're going to send him down and say keep playing every day, right? So then that puts Drury at third.
Drury at third.
Wade at second.
Wade, Torreyes, platoon essentially with.
Whatever. Just put one of them there. Wade's there. So then the 2 spots on the bench. If you have Drury at third and Wade at second, you got Lil Baby Toe on the bench. And then you have a Lind or Austin on the bench?
I still haven't fully thought out the Lind Austin thing, but I think it's Tyler Austin.
Tyler Austin? So if Andujar does break camp with the team and is the everyday third baseman, I don't think he's going to break camp to be on the bench. If he breaks camp and is the everyday third baseman, that may result in the Yankees having to get rid of Torreyes to have a backup first baseman on the bench, Austin or Lind, and I don't know if that's worth it for Cashman. Like, if he has to start Andujar right from the jump, and by doing so, he has to get rid of Torreyes, it's like more of a headache than to just say, Andujar, go develop for a week or two.
Do you think the Yankees are fully bought in on Tyler Wade?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
On giving him a chance. The way they talk about him is what I'm saying, like they don't like Tyler Austin. The way they talk about Tyler Wade is not how they talk about Tyler Austin. And it's the same way they talk about Brett Gardner when he was younger. And I thought they should have kept Melky over Gardner when that situation was playing out. But the way they talked about Gardner, they loved him as a dude, and Melky was partying with Cano too much and shit like that. They talk about Tyler Wade very highly. And the dude won the MVP or batting champ in AAA last year. He just had a bad when he came up.
It's going to be interesting to watch. You wonder if Cashman has something sly up his sleeve, because I've mentioned the at-bats. I mentioned Espinoza, Glaber, Drury, Tyler Wade, McKinney, if you want to throw him in there, Andujar leading the team. There's totally one extra piece. Like, if Tyler Austin gets screwed, and he doesn't get screwed. It's, dude, you've been hurt. If we really need a backup first baseman / someone who can hit lefties, you're going to get your call. Wade and Torreyes, man. Heck, Drury could find himself in a tough spot.
I don't think they would have traded for Drury for them to be in a tough spot.
But so let's do the Andujar rake dreams one more time. Andujar rakes. He can field third.
So he's locked in at third.
In the dream world, or the world before that, Glaber was still going to hold the second base job.
Yeah, I mean, Glaber's going to start, and then he may come up halfway through.
So now we have Drury, Wade, Torreyes as 3 utility guys trying to get minutes. I don't know, man. I think you touched upon it. I think the value there, Wade or Torreyes probably ends up on another team, right?
They're
both too valuable. I know you and me went back and forth a little bit on Little Baby Toe's PPP, which, by the way, go catch up on him. Tell your family to catch up on him. But Little Baby Toe can play second, short, and third, and bat 300 for you. It's not a pop 300, and we're just going to casually send that guy down to the minors. That's tough.
Yeah, no, I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, we can talk it to death, right? So I think we kind of just did, which I think is like a fascinating conversation, because there's Ellsbury's going to be on the bench, Romine's going to be on the bench. You got second base, third base, 2 spots on the bench. One of them has to go to like a guy who can back up first base, and they think Drury can, but I don't know if they trust him that much. So it's really interesting to see how it's going to shake up.
Also hilarious, haven't even said the name Clint Frazier.
Well,
I know you and me know the outfield space is limited, but there's a whole contingency of Yankee fans that think he should be on the opening day roster. Number one of them is Clint Frazier.
Yes, but
he might go for the backup catcher job.
Don't look at the analytics, Boone. Just watch me catch and
throw me back there.
Throw me back there and let me do it. Don't look at the analytics. I can catch. Yeah, Clint's off. I mean, the concussion kind of puts an end to it, even though there was no it anywhere. There was no way, with barring injury. There just wasn't space for him. They weren't going to trade Hicks or Gardner to make room for Clint because he had a good spring. It wasn't. We did this last time. It wasn't.
Yeah,
so there's a lot to sort out. We got to move on from this. Let's move on to some questions we had and voicemails. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear this, Jake.
Try.
I'm gonna play it right now. And we'll try to see if you can hear it. Could you hear that? Okay, well, there was Andrew from Hell's Kitchen. He's called in a bunch of times. He said, who makes the final bullpen spot, Heller or Shreve? Fun question that I did the other day. I don't think we really have a long man because our bullpen is too good. We have so many good one-inning dudes. I mean, Warren can give you a couple innings. Chad Green, they're having him start so he can stretch out to give you a couple innings. Canely went more than one inning last year a couple times, but never. I don't even know if he went 2, 1+. Robertson went 1+ a couple times. Betances is a one-inning only guy. Chapman's a one-inning only guy. But we don't have like all those guys we just named are guys we would pitch in close games. So when we are getting blown out or we're blowing someone out, who's our slop time pitcher? And if the last spot in the bullpen is Shreve or Heller, that's awesome if they're fighting for that last spot, but neither of them are innings eaters. So is it crazy that we don't have – is Sessa going to make the team as a slop inning? Like, we don't have a guy to throw in slop time because you're not going to throw Warren in a 10-0 game and then kill him when you want to save him for a close game. You're not going to throw Chad Green in a 10-0 game. You're going to throw Shreve in a 10-0 game, but he can only give you an inning. It's a weird dilemma. We have too many good arms that we don't want to waste in slop time. Who's going to be our slop time pitcher?
Welcome to the Spoiled Yankees podcast, and I love it because this is a great argument conversation, and we're scratching the surface, Jim, because like I've mentioned with my nerdy baseball game I play, there's guys in the Yankees bullpen that are young and I think are current major league talent. I think on a lot of teams, Jonathan Holder, Sessa, Herman, Heller. I mean, dude, I was looking at the stats the other day. Heller pitched 11 innings to a .82 ERA last year.
Well, Heller's young and he's really good, and he's my favorite player to watch right now. And if Shreve beats him out, it's only because Shreve is a lefty, because Heller's stuff is way better. But there's both one-inning guys, which doesn't help my dilemma.
He aged 25. He pitched 11 innings to a .82 ERA. A lot of teams will be talking about that guy taking a huge role in their bullpen the next year. We're talking about this guy not even making the team.
I think Heller could be Chad Green next year if something happened where he needed to. Everyone on Twitter is a big Heller fan. His stuff is so fun to watch. So, but who's going to pitch in slop time, Jake?
Unpopular opinion to start the year, it might be Chad Green.
No, he won't.
They're stretching him out to be the starter.
They did the same thing with Warren the last 2 years. They're stretching him out, but I think Warren would be 2 innings ahead of Green in slop time.
Like you said, man, I don't have a great answer right now. Because I think the team likes Chasen Shreve too.
They do. I think they like him more.
Shreve was 26, a lefty that threw a 3.77 ERA. He's going to be in the major leagues for 15 years as a loogie.
Yes, I'm not doubting those guys. I'm just saying, do you need a guy like Sessa, like Domingo Herman, like Jaime Garcia in the playoffs that'll eat up innings where you don't want to waste a good pitcher? Because we don't have room for that guy because we have too many good pitchers in our bullpen. This is the most spoiled Yankees fan ever.
Yes,
but honestly, Chapman, Betances, Robertson, Chad Green, Canely, Warren, that's 6 dudes. We're going to have 7 relievers. That's 6 of them. The last spot can go to Shreve, Heller, but they will only give you an inning. I wouldn't be shocked if they put Sessa there.
Right now, it's a piece it together plan. I think they go into the season saying, if we need to do a day like that, we go 2 innings Warren. We try to get 2 out of Shreve. and then we just try to finish it. Man, that's the only reason I say Chad Green there is because he's going to be stretched out to start the year. And then if it becomes problematic and the Yankees do have three busted starts in the first couple weeks, then I think you dig into the Cessas, Hermans, or whatever it is.
I mean, I'm not rooting for Cessa to make the roster over Heller or Shreve. I'm just trying to figure out the dynamic of.
Can we get you in a Cessa jersey?
Luis, he retweeted me the other day. Because he always has one really nice strikeout every time, and then the rest is kind of like,
yeah.
Okay.
Like you said, something to watch. And again, I've got my Jakey Cashman asterisk because we went through the infield depth. There's some depth there. There's going to be guys in AAA this year who should be in MLB bullpens. This is how a trade starts to come together. Someone sees Ben Heller as a potential closer. Someone sees Tyler Wade as their starting second baseman, and you never really know what could happen. So that's a little Jakey what to watch for. What to watch for.
Okay. Next, we got a question from Big Joey 444. He said, Bird slow bat. Then he ducked because he was scared of us. Then he said, I know it's super early, and he ducked again. So Birds hasn't been hitting. What are his stats? You got him in front of you?
Yes, Bird spring training stats are 12 at-bats. He has 1 hit, 4 walks, 5 strikeouts. So 083, he's getting on base at a 3.13 clip, but 1 hit and 12 at-bats. Again, classic, we're going to say spring training doesn't matter. Hey, maybe his bat's super slow. This guy caught it first, but if Greg Bird breaks camp completely healthy, no one gives a damn about his spring training stats. Boom, roasted.
All right. Yep. Cool. He's got a good eye. He's getting his walks. He's still getting his at-bats. Whatever. Spring training. Like we said, there's no bad in spring training besides injuries.
Stanley, you crush your wife during sex. Boom, roasted.
If Judge plays left field, do the Yankees have to move Judge's chambers? And what would Stanton's section be called if he had one? Are Judge's chambers going to be back? I wasn't anti-Judge's chambers. I was fine with it. Like, whatever. The Yankees are never fun. That was kind of fun. They let kids sit there. If he plays left field, do they move him? Nah. But I don't even know if they're going to be there anymore.
I guess they're back.
And there's no way Judge is playing left field at Yankee Stadium a lot. That's Gardner's playing every game of left field.
Yeah.
Unless Sale's on the mound. I don't know.
Are we going to see Judge Stanton in left field this spring?
Stanton just played left on Sunday.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. You were at a brunch. So everyone was dropping balls, Jake. Everyone was dropping balls. The sun was brutal. There's no third deck to shade you from the sun. So he got 2 balls hit to him. He ran them down, and then right as they were about to being catching range, he just put his hands over his head, and they fell twice. And then the third time, he kind of took a weird route, dunked in front of him. But 3 balls were hit his way, 0 outs. Boone, because Boone's being a nice, positive manager, he's like, I was very encouraged by his routes. And if you start on the hardest day ever to play left field, then it's all better from there. Which is true. Other people were dropping balls, so it wasn't just Stan's fault. Stan made no excuses. He said, no, I need to catch those, sun or not sun. You need to make the catch. Good thing to say. He's going to play left field again in his next game, which I thought he may be discouraged because he's a pro. He's an all-star. Yeah. He's worth millions. He's proved himself as a fantastic baseball player. Then to go out, play a new position. And everyone knows the sun's in your eyes, but still it's embarrassing to so I thought maybe he'd be like, yo, Boone, come on, man. Fuck that. That was not fun for me. But he's playing again next week, so that's good.
Do we have anything to say, or do you have anything to tell the people about Judge not playing a ton so far?
Well, they told us that. At the opening conference of spring, they said Judge is going to be slowly eased into it. And they just said Sunday, they think he's healthy and he should be getting at-bats now.
So do you think Stanton getting into left field shows any lean that, if they were going to play a playoff game today against a lefty, Sale, and they want to get both bats in there in the outfield, Do you think they're leaning Stanton just because he's gotten in yet, or do you think we're still waiting to see?
I think we're still waiting to see. If Judge doesn't play any innings, then yeah. But they said Ellsbury is going to play in left field. They said Judge is going to play in left field. They're just playing everyone everywhere again because it's spring. Which brings us to our next question. Your opinion on spring training and how significant games and performances are. I got in like a debate with this guy on Twitter today who was just a clown. He was pissed off the Yankees were losing. This isn't me trying to be like hardo or anything. I don't look at the scoreboard on these spring training games. And if you're new to baseball, if you're wondering why, Aroldis Chapman came into the game today. He could not locate his slider. He hit a batter. He kept throwing it inside. If this was a regular season game, him and Gary would say, okay, scratch the slider. You don't have it today. And just go fastballs and try to – it's not. It's a spring training game. So they said, throw the slider more. We need to work it out. So he threw the slider more, and he had a terrible inning. He went 1-1. He went a third of an inning, gave up a run, whatever. Spring training. Like I said, Andujar, if it was a regular season, he wouldn't be seeing fastballs. But guys aren't – the other pitchers aren't going up there with intensive scouting reports on Andujar. They're just like, okay, I got to get my work in. CC goes 2 innings, breezes through them, comes out. Winning and losing means nothing. Like literally it means nothing in spring training because you have pitchers coming in and out. You have guys playing positions. You have Giancarlo playing positions he'd never played before. And a lot of people that follow baseball for a while know this, but some people think that winning and losing in spring training, I'm seeing a lot of people on Twitter like, yeah, at least we won. Like what? Who? It means nothing.
It's like we've been saying with the players. If you win, sure, be happy about it. It's better than losing, I guess.
Not even, man. Not even. Who cares? I'm not even happy about a win.
If they lost every game of spring training, a flag would be raised.
Every game. A flag. If they won every game of spring training, that same flag would be raised.
Yes.
I'd be like, fuck, that's a bad sign.
Yes. So yeah, doesn't matter. Health matters the most.
Health and play. Like you're looking at things like today's game. We were looking at, okay, how's Chad Green going to look? First time we've seen him. Okay, how's Aroldis going to look? First time we've seen him. Bill McKinney got the start at first. He's just now being moved to first. How's he going to look? He made an error. That wasn't that great. You got Giancarlo playing left. How's he going to look left? These are things that you watch for.
Yes.
How many times each team gets a guy across home plate? Don't care at all. It honestly means nothing.
No team has ever been remembered by their spring training.
That's a really good point. We got a question. How many games is Chad Green starting this year? I think we did this with Joe's McFly. It was over under 10. We changed it to over under 1.5, and I went under. I think he starts 1 game bullpen day, maybe. I don't think more than that. You know what's funny? Paul O'Neill introduced the game today. And he's like, we got Chad Green starting today. Won't be starting during the regular season. But no one has said that yet. Like Boone has said, yeah, he's probably going to go back to the bullpen. But like the allure, Michael Kay, because he's a professional or whatever, he would have played along with the allure. Like Michael Kay would have been like, well, Chad Green's looking for a chance to start. The rotation's packed, but we'll see what he can do. Paul O'Neill was just right away. Chad Green, he's not going to be starting. He's going to be in the bullpen, but he's starting here.
Yeah.
Made me laugh.
Value.
Keep him stretched out. I think that's all we got, Jake. Got anything else?
I don't think so. I think my Jake's final take, which isn't a thing and the people don't want to hear. If you look up the Yankee spring training stats, the top 10 guys in at bats are everyone we discussed, basically. The only guy we haven't fully mentioned is Florial, who does look super talented, which is awesome. I know you already pumped the brakes on the hater, or not the prospect huggers, but looks uber talented. Yeah, man.
All right, cool. That's fun. I
send us away with something, babe.
You want to do like hot takes?
If you want to, I don't know. What do you need to get off your chest?
I'm going to do – no. These are like my spring training hot takes as if I wasn't a rational human being.
Nice.
And just watching like the team. Okay, here we go. Jimmy's. We'll call this the hot springs. The hot spring takes. The hot springs takes.
Okay, man.
Andujar needs to be the everyday starting third baseman. Andujar over everyone. Cut Drury. Who gives a shit? Wade, he looks okay. Bird, he's going to get hurt. Lind was a great signing. He's going to be in there. Chad Green, no hot take about Chad Green. Tanaka sucks. Tanaka sucks.
Trade Hicks. Trade
Hicks
trade
Ellsbury.
Hicks trade Gardner.
Garbage. His good month last year was the most fluky thing in the goddamn world. Trade Hicks. Clint's concussion is going to make him better, probably. Gardner can get the hell out of here. Bring up McKinney in the outfield. Oh, it's exhausting.
Should we do? I don't know if you like this or not. Should we do a March 4th, our final 5 guys on the roster?
Like right now?
Yeah, like that whole discussion we had. Like, if you had to guess today, like we know Drury's going to be on the roster. We know Romine's going to be on the roster.
Romine, Drury, and Ellsbury are locks.
Right.
So then you have 3 other guys to plug and play with.
And the last pitcher, if you want to do it. Should we do the final 4? That's March themed.
March. Okay. All right. So we're saying Drury, Ellsbury, Romine are locks.
They're locks.
So
or a backup catcher if someone loves.
No, I went over this. Romine has no options left, so you're not you're not gonna get rid of Romine for 1 day a week of Higashioka or Kratz, because then you're losing a whole player of depth. So Romine's got it locked up. Ellsbury's got the 4th outfielder locked up. Drury has a spot, whether it's starting or utility, locked up. So we have Wade, Torreyes, Andujar, and Glaber. 2 of those 4. Well, then you have Lind and Austin too.
Yeah.
So there's 6 guys for 2 positions. No, 1. Yeah, no, for 3 positions. So do you think they have a backup first baseman, or do you think they're comfortable enough with Drury?
Who's your final 4? March 4th, final 4.
Fuck, it's tough. Okay, so give it to Andujar. Right now, Andujar, give him 3rd. Deserves it. I'm not going to predict him to, like, ruin his chances because there's no fun in that. I will predict that Andujar goes good through spring. He gets 3rd base. Drury's utility. Ellsbury's in the outfield. Romine's there. I think Wade is 2nd base. Because why would I predict him to slow down? Wade, keep going. You got 2nd base locked up. Then you got Drury on the bench for util. And
I was going the last. Drury's already in. I was going last infield and the last pitcher.
So you got 1 more spot in the infield. It's either Torreyes, Austin, or Lind. I don't think they like Austin that much. I think Lind doesn't get a chance, so he opts out, and Torreyes stays because that's the least headache for them to do, which is then we're trusting Drury to be our backup first baseman. That's kind of crazy. I don't know why I did that, but that's what I did. Give Shreve the spot at the end. I think Heller deserves it more, but I think they'll go with Shreve because they like Shreve, and he's a lefty.
So final 4 of Shreve, Roto, Andujar, and Wade.
And we're going to do these again next week, and they'll probably be different.
Yeah. I think Austin gets in there, man.
I like him. His mom's fun on Twitter, too. He's been hitting bombs, too. I don't know. There's no one that I'm saying I'd be pissed if they were on the roster.
I'm swapping Andujar and Austin for now. I'm still not fully bought in to Team Andujar.
Wow, that's nuts.
He's about if he does it for another week, you basically can't ignore it. But this is a week and a half of spring training that we're all in on him.
I know, it is nuts, right?
Right?
It's really crazy. Yeah. Whatever. I mean, people were all on him after 1 game against the shitty White Sox.
That's true.
All right. Thank you for listening. If you like the show, if you want to support us, we have a store, talkinyanks.com. Then click merch. We got a bunch of shirts in there. So you support us. You get a fun Yankee shirt to wear. There's some good ones. I know you've heard about it, but the Judge Rookie of the Year Home Run Tour with every pitcher he hit a home run off on the back of the shirt, and the distance they went and the date it happened on is like a really fun shirt. Pick up that one. Pick up one that says Jake sucks. Pick up one that says call up Andy. Or there's a bunch in there, or a mug. You can get a mug with Talkin Yanks on it. So head to the store, pick one up if you want. I mean, we're not forcing you to. We're just asking nicely. Some nice support. We're going to be in spring training soon. I think we have one more episode before we're down there. The mini episodes are keep coming out. We have a couple more of those. We actually have to record some more now. If you haven't listened to those, binge listen. They're fun. It's a nice little binge listen. That's it. That's it. We're done. Thank you very much for listening. Go Yankees. Go Yankees. Tell them, Grandma.
Go Yankees.